All right. So a very, very good morning to everybody and a warm welcome to all of you in this session for today. Um, so the topic for today that we will be discussing will be some of the most common 6 forgotten nutrients that we as humans tend to neglect in our daily routine, in our daily diet. Okay. So I would like to introduce myself as well. So I am Sana Mir and I hold a degree of Masters in Nutrition and Food Processing, a diploma in clinical nutrition. I'm a certified functional nutritionist as well as an autism aware nutritionist. Okay, I have a total 3 years of experience in my field, expertise in weight loss, weight gain, diabetes management, PCOS, menopause, and so on. Okay, so I welcome you all today. To start with the topic, first of all, I would like to highlight how nutrition has been most widely neglected in our field, in our daily routine. Okay, so like undernutrition is usually thought of as a deficiency of primarily calories, overall food consumption, or of the protein in our diet, right? So however, when calories are deficient, there are also vitamins and minerals which are also likely to be very, very deficient in our diet. So calories are basically what? Everything that's composed of, proteins, carbohydrates, fiber, vitamins, other minerals in our diet, right? So undernutrition is a deficiency of calories or one or more of essential nutrients. However, undernutrition is not always for people who are underweight. Okay, it's also for people who are obese. So obese people are also malnourished. The reason they are obese is because they're not having the sufficient requirement of the nutrients that they need in their daily basis, in their daily routine, right? So eating a well-balanced diet is not a guarantee of good health. However, it will go a long way in helping you stay at good weight and feel even better, of course, if you're following the routine well, right? So I recommend that you focus on making small changes, and that as well, one at a time, to reach your goals ultimately. I'm sure you're gonna do that if you follow it with dedication and all your mind and focus. Okay. So also like an overall lack of nutrients or lack of minerals and vitamins, which may cause a deficiency of, like various nutrients in your diet. So these are the things that can cause lack of single vitamin, or these are the the lack of vitamins or minerals can cause the problems, various health issues. And we're going to discuss those health issues as well, as and when we're discussing the neglected nutrients in our diet. Okay. So the first neglected nutrient that's most commonly seen is water. So water contains 0 calories. They have minerals, they contain various electrolytes which are needed for proper functioning of the body and good health. People looking to lose or gain weight should drink plenty of water, as water denotes more of fat-free muscle mass in the body. So what is fat-free muscle mass? It is also called as FFM. Fat-free muscle mass refers to all of your body components except fat. Okay. So without water, the body cannot properly metabolize the stored fat in your body. Okay. The requirement of fat metabolism is very important. What is fat metabolism? The intake of fat in our diet, which we are regularly eating, it needs to be broken down into fatty acids. So if you are on a weight loss program, it's very important that you are also observing proper fat metabolism. So fat metabolism happens when the fatty acids are converted the fats are broken down into fatty acids, and these fatty acids are then absorbed into your blood. Okay. So if this whole process is happening properly, you will face or you will notice regular or a good way of weight loss. Okay. So water molecules are required to interact with the fats to create fatty acids. That is the reason it's very important that no matter whichever diet program you are, whether you are on a weight loss or weight gain diet, you need to make sure that you're consuming enough water. Okay, so less the water amount in the body, more will be the fatty adipose tissues in the body. Again, so if you're not drinking enough water, the fatty acids will not be broken down, and hence there will be deposition of fatty adipose tissues in your body. So water should be taken in small quantities and at regular intervals, like 250 ml or 1.5, like 250 ml per 1.5 to 2 hours. So it's very important that you keep drinking at least 1 glass of water every 1.5 to 2 hours. Okay. Let me just have the first poll here. So it's a question on how much water would you drink? We'll have 30 seconds for this poll. Let's see how many people are consuming how much water on a daily basis. Okay. So I think 55% people have mentioned that they drink an average of 4 to 5 glasses of water on a daily basis, while 45% people have mentioned that they drink 6 to 8 glasses of water on a daily basis. So let's check. You can end the poll here. All right, we'll share the results. Okay, so that's the poll result. Okay. So this was the intake of water that you people are drinking on a regular basis. However, let's see what is the daily goal or the recommendation of an average adult that they should consume water in. Okay. 1 glass, which is an average of 250 ml per 10 kg body weight, should be consumed on a regular basis. So, which means 2.5 to 3 liters of water per day. Okay. And how do we reach water? So, you know what? I have seen a lot of my participants or a lot of my clients say they don't feel really thirsty. So they don't really drink that much of water. But the fact is, you really don't need to wait to feel thirsty until you drink water. Okay. It's very important that you drink water at regular intervals. And there are various ways you can consume water in. It's not necessarily required that you consume water only in the plain water form. You can consume water in the form of coconut water, buttermilk, clear soup, herbal tea, vegetable juices, etc. So a lot of people find it very difficult to consume water directly. So you can always substitute your fluids, your liquids in different forms. Okay. Moving ahead. Water is very important in other diseases as well. For instance, if somebody in your family or around you is diabetic, they need to ensure that they drink more water because, like I earlier discussed, water helps in breaking down the fats into fatty acids. So again, for diabetics also, generally, 80% of the diabetic population is proven to be overweight because of their high weight, extra weight that they're carrying. They have the condition of diabetes.
Sana, hi, I'm sorry to disturb. Can we use both the languages? I'm getting this request.
Sure. All right. So generally क्या हो जाता है for people like diabetes, जिनको diabetes रहता है, उनके लिए weight, मतलब उनका weight हमेशा अक्सर देखा जाता है कि ज्यादा रहता है. Okay? तो उनके लिए पानी पीना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज जैसे मैंने पहले डिस्कस किया कि फैट ब्रेक डाउन होता है इनटू फैटी एसिड्स एंड वो हमारे वेट लॉस में हेल्प करता है. उसी तरह डायबिटिक्स के लिए भी फैट लॉस होने के लिए फॉर द फैट लॉस इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट वी हैव लॉट ऑफ वाटर कंजम्पशन. So it excretes the removal of unnecessary elements. It detoxifies your body. ठीक है? Optimum water intake during hypertension again is very necessary. जिनको ब्लड प्रेशर रहता है, हाइपरटेंशन इज ब्लड प्रेशर, जिनको ब्लड प्रेशर रहता है, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि उनका ब्लड डाइल्यूट हो, उनका ब्लड जनरली थिक रहता है, गाढ़ा खून रहता है जिनका ब्लड प्रेशर रहता है। तो वाटर इनटेक ब्लड प्रेशर पेशेंट्स के लिए भी उतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज वी नीड दैट द प्रेशर ऑन देयर आर्टरीज, हमारे जो खून के रग रहते हैं, हमारे नस रहती है, उस पे प्रेशर कम पड़े, उस वजह से हमें पानी पीना है ताकि हमारा जो ब्लड है उसकी कंसिस्टेंसी पतली रहे। ओके, so in many other medical conditions also, it's very important that we consume enough water. So I don't know if how many of you really agree, but mere experience say 90% of my clients have always agreed that yes, their water consumption is always on a very, very lower side. So it's one of the most neglected nutrients, and that's why it's on top one. Okay. So moving ahead to the second nutrient, which is mostly neglected, is protein. Protein is one of the macronutrients that provides us with energy and gives our muscles the ability to perform various activities. Okay. So protein हमारी डाइट में हर एक मील में होना इम्पोर्टेंट है। ओके, चाहे आप आपका ब्रेकफास्ट ले रहे हो, लंच ले रहे हो, डिनर ले रहे हो, एक वाइड कंसेप्ट है प्रोटीन के बारे में बात करने के लिए, बट टू डिस्कस इट इन ब्रीफ, let us just say that it is one of the most commonly neglected macronutrient. The intake of protein is bio-individual and it needs to be consumed based on personal physical parameters such as weight, muscle mass and BMI. जो प्रोटीन का इंटेक है, हर एक की रिक्वायरमेंट अलग रहती है। ओके, ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके फैमिली में अगर 5 लोग हैं तो पांचों अलग अलग एज ग्रुप्स के हैं, पांचों को आप एक तरह का प्रोटीन इंटेक नहीं दे सकते हो, हर एक की रिक्वायरमेंट अलग है। और it's required for both overweight people as well as for underweight people. We will discuss why. Average requirement of protein for any individual is around 0.9 to 1.2 gram per kg body weight. So example ले लीजिए, अगर आपका weight 55 kg है, तो आपकी प्रोटीन की रिक्वायरमेंट ऑन अ डेली बेसिस उस पर्टिकुलर डे के लिए अराउंड 55 to 66 ग्राम्स रहेगी। ठीक है, and how do you achieve the protein requirement in your diet? There are various sources of protein. अगर नॉन वेजिटेरियन सोर्सेस की बात करें तो चिकन, एग्स, फिश, ऑर्गन मीट जैसे लिवर है, किडनी है, इन सब चीजों से हमें प्रोटीन की रिक्वायरमेंट मिल जाती है। ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, अगर वेजिटेरियन सोर्सेस की बात करें, सो इट्स पल्सेस लाइक दाल्स है, लेग्यूम्स है, सोया है, मिल्क है, पनीर है। These are the sources which will give you protein for vegetarians. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So the lack of protein causes weight gain, as low protein intake may increase the appetite. Hence, as a result, people end up overeating. So now, like I said, जैसे मैंने बताया, underweight people and overweight people दोनों के लिए प्रोटीन की रिक्वायरमेंट उतनी ही इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि अंडरवेट लोगों का स्टैमिना कम रहता है, एनर्जी लेवल कम रहता है, तो डेफिनेटली हम उनको प्रोटीन देंगे मसल्स बढ़ाने के लिए, करेक्ट, एनर्जी लेवल्स बढ़ाने के लिए। लेकिन जो ओवरवेट रहते हैं उनकी प्रोटीन रिक्वायरमेंट एज कंपेयर टू अंडरवेट लोगों की, एज पर द रीसेंट रिसर्च स्टडीज have shown that it's very low, and the reason that overweight लोगों का belly fat जो lower portion रहता है वो bulgy रहता है, because उनके उस एरिया में फैट डिपोजिशन इजीली हो जाता है। ओके, एंड उनका एपेटाइट इंक्रीज हो जाता है। एपेटाइट इंक्रीज होता है तो वो क्या प्रेफर करेंगे, दे विल गो फॉर अदर ऑप्शंस लाइक बर्गर्स एंड पिज्जाज, या फिर उन लोग कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स जैसी चीजें ज्यादा खाने बैठेंगे और प्रोटीन निग्लेक्ट होते जाता है उनकी डाइट में। So as a result, people end up overeating, and they end up overeating wrong food. That is the reason they are having that bulgy stomach. Okay. So lack of protein causes belly fat to increase due to low metabolism, and hence it becomes difficult to burn the fat. Okay. Like I said, overweight people, उनके लिए जो ये fat deposition tummy area में होता है, वो उनका मेटाबॉलिज्म काफी रिड्यूस कर देता है, जिसके वजह से उनका फैट बर्न करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. Okay, it becomes very difficult for them to burn that fat because they do not have the enough energy to do it. Okay. Any questions so far? You all can unmute yourselves here and you all can ask me some questions if you all have regarding protein.
हेलो
Yeah.
मैम, मुझे ये पूछना था कि जैसे नॉनवेज के सोर्सेस है प्रोटीन के, बट नॉनवेज जैसे कि हम लोग अगर चिकन खाते हैं तो वो हम लोग वो स्पाइसी वगैरह बना के खाते हैं या फिर बिरयानी बना के खाते हैं, तो मीन्स मतलब कौन से फॉर्म में हमें वो वेज हो या नॉन वेज हो उसका जो प्रोटीन है मिलेगा? अभी जैसे आपने बोला कि पनीर है, बट पनीर हम लोग वैसे तो नहीं खाते हैं, जैसे कि कुछ मटर पनीर बनाया या फिर कुछ पनीर भुर्जी बनाया लाइक दैट। तो वो मैं पूछ रही हूँ कि न्यूट्रिएंट्स उसमें कैसे बरकरार रहे खाने के लिए।
पनीर में स्पेसिफिकली आप पूछ रहे हो?
हाँ, मैं दोनों सोर्सेस पूछ रही हूँ।
सो इट्स नॉट, आपका कुकिंग की मेथड पर डिपेंड नहीं करता बेसिकली. इट ओनली डिपेंड्स कि आप कितनी क्वांटिटी लेते हो. ठीक है. सो जैसे मैंने बताया कि 0.9 to 1 ग्राम ऑफ प्रोटीन पर केजी बॉडी वेट से, सपोज अगर आपका वेट 60 केजी है, अराउंड आप 60 ग्राम्स प्रोटीन लोगे. ठीक है. बट वो पूरे दिन का है. तो अगर आपने एक टाइम पे 40 या 80 ग्राम प्रोटीन लिया है फॉर योर लंच फॉर इंस्टेंस, दैट इज नॉट सफिशिएंट. आपको बाकी सोर्सेज ऐड करने हैं आपके पूरे दिन के डाइट में. ब्रेकफास्ट में अलग सोर्सेज जाएंगे, डिनर में अलग सोर्सेज जाएंगे. एंड ऑलवेज चेंज द सोर्स ऑफ प्रोटीन. सिर्फ चिकन या सिर्फ एग नहीं लेना है, प्रोटीन के सोर्सेज चेंज करना है. बिकॉज अगेन, एक तरह का प्रोटीन खाने से भी हेल्थ इश्यूज हो सकते हैं. इफ यू आर अ नॉन वेजिटेरियन और आप सिर्फ नॉन वेज सोर्सेज लेते हो, उसके बाकी के साइड इफेक्ट्स भी हमें देखने हैं, जैसे यूरिक एसिड, क्रिएटिनिन, ये सब चीजें हमारी किडनी पे अफेक्ट करता है. ओके. So this is how you have to, change the sources of protein, and you have to always ensure कि आप अपने क्वांटिटी के हिसाब से ही ले रहे हो, जितनी आपको रिक्वायरमेंट उतनी लेनी. ओके. आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड योर क्वेश्चन.
ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
यू आर वेलकम.
मुझे क्वेश्चन था, जैसे आपने उनको बताया, तो जो टोटल अमाउंट जितना प्रोटीन इनटेक करना है डे में, तो वो डिवाइड करके लेना जैसे, या फिर एक बार में मैंने टेक कर लिया तो फिर मैं नेक्स्ट मील में भी ध्यान रखूं कि मैं और प्रोटीन लूं? जैसे
Yes.
मान लो मैंने सुबह दूध भी पी लिया और पनीर की सब्जी भी खा ली, तो अब नेक्स्ट में क्या?
यस. तो आपको इन शॉर्ट मैं आपको ऐसे बता सकती हूँ कि आपके हर डाइट में थोड़ा प्रोटीन रहना चाहिए हर मील में. तो अगर आपने ब्रेकफास्ट में मिल्क ले लिया, लंच में पनीर ले लिया, तो डिनर में आप दाल ले सकते हो. You can always change the source of protein. You can add variety to your meals. That's how you can meet the requirements of protein. Okay.
तो अभी जैसे आपने बोला कि आप डिनर में दाल ले लो, तो फिर बहुत सारी थ्योरीज भी आजकल हो जाती है ना कि रात को दाल नहीं खानी चाहिए अगर आप रात को दाल ले रहे हो. मैंने जैसे अभी इंस्टाग्राम पे भी काफी सारे इन्फ्लुएंसर है, तो मैंने कहीं पढ़ा कि आपको रात को दूध भी नहीं लेना चाहिए, वो हैवी प्रोटीन में कन्वर्ट होता है, आप रात को उसको पचा नहीं सकते. आपको जितना प्रॉपर पानी पीना चाहिए प्रोटीन के लिए उतना पानी नहीं पी सकते हो, तो वो दूसरे डिजीज में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है.
So again, it is bio-individual. For people who are facing problems like extreme gastric issues, acidities, उनके लिए अक्सर कहा जाता है कि heavy protein, which is non-vegetarian based, should be avoided for your dinner रात के टाइम पे, because after dinner probably आपका metabolism low होने वाला है and you're going to go off to bed. तो आपकी physical activity कम होने वाली है eventually by the end of the day. So that is the reason we avoid taking high or extreme good sources of protein for dinner. लेकिन जब हम बात करें दाल और इन सब चीजों की, अगेन वो बायो इंडिविजुअल है, वो पर्सन के कंडीशन के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. जो चीज आप कर रहे हैं हो सकता है वो सेम चीज किसी और को सूट नहीं करे, एंड वाइस वर्सा. सो जो भी आप सोशल मीडिया पे या कहीं पे देखते हो, दैट डज नॉट, इट्स नॉट अ स्टेटमेंट फॉर एवरीबडी इन पर्टिकुलर. It depends on a particular condition also.
मतलब जैसे मैं बचपन से दाल खाती आ रही हूँ और दूध पीती आ रही हूँ, तो मैं कंटिन्यू कर सकती हूँ ना?
Yes, absolutely.
थैंक यू.
Also, I would like to highlight a few things. जैसे कि मैंने बताया already कि प्रोटीन की importance क्या है. Let me also mention कि why the deficiency of protein, like what does the deficiency of protein lead to? Okay, so protein deficiency is, like when people do not get adequate amounts of protein in their diet, काफी सीवियर इश्यूज हो जाते हैं बच्चों में, डेवलपिंग बच्चों में, जो बढ़ते हुए बच्चे हैं, उनको प्रोटीन की रिक्वायरमेंट कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट है. बिकॉज आजकल अगर आप देखेंगे तो छोटे छोटे बच्चों में आपको हेल्थ इश्यूज दिखेंगे, जैसे कि एडिमा. ठीक है, उनके चेहरे पे पफीनेस, स्वोलन रहता है, उनके पेल पेल आईज, पेल स्किन पैचेस, ये सब चीजें उनके चेहरे पे दिखाई देने लगती है. उसके अलावा फॉर older people, if you notice, like people of age 30 and plus, अगर उनके डाइट में प्रोटीन इनटेक कम है, then they will face issues like fatty liver. Fatty liver again, वो लोग का मतलब digestion में problem आ जाता है. So these are all the scenarios which needs to be taken into consideration when we are eating protein, and we need to know that how much protein should go in a diet. Okay.
to interrupt you, ma'am.
Yes.
मैम एक्चुअली मैं जानना चाहती थी कि कुछ आप ऑप्शंस बताएं स्लो डाइजेस्टिव प्रोटीन और फास्ट डाइजेस्टिव प्रोटीन के. और स्लो डाइजेस्टिव प्रोटीन नाइट में लेना ठीक है या आफ्टरनून में लेना ठीक है, मॉर्निंग में? और फास्ट डाइजेस्टिव प्रोटीन कब लिया जाए और स्लो कब लिया जाए?
So ideally, fast digestive protein should be taken in the first half of the day, and slow digestive during the second half of the day. Again, there are slow digestive proteins like paneer, lentils, sprouts. These are slow digestive proteins, so you can always prefer them in the second half. And fast digestive proteins, sorry, in the first half. And fast digestive proteins are supposed to be taken in the second half of the day. Like I said, क्योंकि हमारा फिजिकल एक्टिविटी कम हो जाता है ड्यूरिंग द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द डे, तो हम लोग का ऑब्वियसली मेटाबॉलिज्म भी स्लो डाउन हो जाता है. तो हमें नहीं चाहिए कि हमारा कैलोरीज वेस्ट चला जाए, तो जितना हम ले रहे हैं वो डाइजेस्ट हो जाए हमारे बॉडी में, उतना बेटर रहता है.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम.
I will answer all the remaining questions by the end of the session. Okay.
Let me ask one question.
Yes.
Let me ask one question.
Yes.
If the quantity of protein is high, what are the harmful effect in our body? If I am having thyroid issue, could you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. I would like to highlight this. So high intake of protein for especially people with thyroid issues, उनके लिए as such तो कोई health issues नहीं होंगे, but again थायराइड जिनको होता है उनके डाइट में हमें काफी कुछ चेंजेस लानी पड़ती है, बिकॉज दे आर ऑन अ वर्ज ऑफ बीइंग ओवरवेट. उनका वेट हमेशा थोड़ा ज्यादा रहता है. सो लाइक आई सेड, जिनका वेट ज्यादा रहता है उनके लोअर बॉडी पे फैट डिपोजिशन ज्यादा इजीली हो जाता है, right? So again, we have to make sure that for people who are having thyroid and are overweight, we need to ensure that they are eating minimal protein, as much as just 0.9 gram of protein per kg body weight. Okay, and try to stick to bio individual parameters. Again, अगर आपका कोई और health concerns है तो फिर वो सब चीजें consider करके आपके diet में protein customize किया जाता है. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So मैम you mean to say कि थायराइड पेशेंट्स को प्रोटीन इंटेक थोड़ा लो ही लेना चाहिए 0.9 के अकॉर्डिंग, है ना मैम?
0.9 is average.
Average. Okay. तो ये किसी तरह की अगर इंक्रीज हुआ जाता है पर केजी वेट अगर हम प्रोटीन लेते हैं तो कोई हेल्थ इश्यूज होते हैं थायराइड पेशेंट को?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं होते हैं, क्योंकि थायराइड में भी दो तरह के पेशेंट्स रहते हैं, हाइपोथायराइड एंड हाइपरथायराइडिज्म. तो हाइपोथायराइड का केस ये होता है कि वो थोड़ा ओवरवेट रहते हैं, इसलिए हम उनका हर चीज स्टैंडर्ड लेवल से थोड़ा कम रखते हैं ताकि उनका वेट जल्दी ना बढ़े.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll move to the next nutrient which is most neglected. Let me go ahead. Calcium. So calcium is one of the most neglected macro mineral, because हर किसी के घर में एक बार ब्लड टेस्ट करो और आप रिपोर्ट्स देखोगे तो कैल्शियम की कमी रहती है. even though हमारे डाइट में इतने सारे सोर्सेस है कैल्शियम लेने के, but still we will find the deficiency of calcium in a lot of people. So calcium is a macro mineral which represents about 1.5 to 2% of the total body weight, which is around 1 to 1.4 kg in a 70 kg human on an average. Okay. Our bones are, our bones and teeth, these are
मैम डेली सॉरी मैम डेली रिक्वायरमेंट कितने IU यूनिट होनी चाहिए कैल्शियम की एक
I will discuss it.
Okay,
It's
ma'am.
very next slide. Yeah. So our bones and teeth contain about 99% of the body's calcium. The remaining 1% is distributed in the intra and extracellular fluids. What is intra and extracellular fluids? हमारे cells, जो blood cells है, उसके अंदर और बाहर की तरफ जो fluid रहता है, that is called intra and extracellular fluids. So calcium is majorly present in our bones and in our teeth. Okay. So signs that you may have low calcium levels. How will you figure it out if you are having dry scalp, brittle nails, damaged hair, patches on the skin, poor back strength? आए दिन आपकी बैक पेन करती है, जॉइंट्स पेन करते हैं, मसल स्पैज्म्स होना, ये सब चीजें हैं जिससे हम फिगर आउट कर सकते हैं कि शायद दैट इज अ साइन दैट हमारे कैल्शियम लेवल्स लो साइड पर है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स हमारी बॉडी में कैल्शियम किसके वजह से ऑब्जॉर्ब होता है? इट इज गेटिंग ऑब्जॉर्ब्ड इन आवर बॉडी बिकॉज ऑफ विटामिन डी डेफिशिएंसी. सो द रीजन दैट कैल्शियम इज मोस्टली लो इन इंडियंस is due to vitamin D deficiency. And it is neglected due to modern lifestyle, lack of knowledge, improper dietary assessment, and failure in absorption of calcium. And failure in absorption of calcium absorb क्यों नहीं हो पाता है हमारी बॉडी में? क्योंकि 90% of Indian population is deficient in vitamin D, right? So these are the reasons that calcium is neglected, even though ये एक macro mineral है. It is not even a micro mineral. It is a macro mineral which plays a very major role in our overall body synthesis. It's important for your hair, your skin, your nails, your joints, your muscles. So ये सब चीजें damage या affect होती है if you are low on calcium. Okay. And now coming to what is the goal? हम किस तरह हमारा daily requirement कितना है? Answering your question, it's around 1000 mg to 1200 mg per day for an average adult. Okay. How to reach it? हम calcium किस तरह achieve करें? Major sources of calcium are milk and dairy products, fish with bones like salmon and sardines, clams and oysters. Other sources of calcium are cottage cheese and cheese. The third source of calcium, that's the vegetable source. Especially if anybody here is a vegan, then these are the sources of calcium that they can attain through is like green leafy vegetables like kale, broccoli, turnip, cauliflower greens, legumes and dried fruits. तो ये हमारे sources है calcium के. And it's not necessary that आपको कैल्शियम सिर्फ मिल्क से मिलता है. ओके. काफी लोगों को लगता है कि आजकल की डाइट में अगर आप बात करो तो वेगनिज्म काफी ज्यादा अभी ट्रेंड हो रहा है. वेगन डाइट ले रहे हैं, डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स बंद करने हैं, तो उनके दिमाग में सबसे पहला एक क्वेश्चन आता है कि हमको कैल्शियम कैसे मिलेगा. सो कैल्शियम से मिल्क एंड मिल्क प्रोडक्ट से ज्यादा रिच सोर्सेज वेजिटेबल्स में है, जैसे कि केल है, ब्रोकली है, beans है. These are all good sources of calcium. Dark green leafy vegetables जो रहते हैं उनमें सबसे ज्यादा high calcium रहता है. Okay. So this is how you need to understand that you have to get the calcium requirement in your body. And again, अगर आपके पास calcium की कमी है तो उसकी deficiencies क्या रहेंगी? Okay, let's discuss about the deficiency of calcium as well. So generally, अगर हम बात करें for people of older age, because after 30, if you notice, आप लोगों का जो bone का, your bones start going down. If you calculate your bones आपकी बचपन के comparison में कम रहती है as you age. Okay, and major leading cause of lower deficiency of calcium is osteoporosis, osteopenia. So the bones store calcium very well. but they require very, very high energy levels to stay strong. Okay. So agar calcium levels low hai, the bones can divert, the body can divert the bones from making them very brittle. अगर आपकी calcium levels काफी low है, तो आपके जो bones है काफी brittle बनते हैं. Brittle मतलब soft बन जाते हैं, उनमें lubrication कम रहता है आपके joints के बीच में. इस वजह से अगर आप notice करोगे आजकल 30s 40s में जो जी रहे हैं उन लोगों की काफी ये कंप्लेन्स रहती है कि हमारे बोन्स में पेन हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा भी बेंड करते देन इट टेक्स लॉट टाइम फॉर देम टू स्ट्रेटन देयर बैक, राइट. तो ये सब चीजें किस वजह से हो रहे हैं? बिकॉज उनके डाइट में कैल्शियम नहीं जा रहा है, और कैल्शियम कम होने की वजह से उनके बोन्स जो है बहुत सॉफ्ट हो चुके हैं. और अगेन आजकल के जो लोग हैं, बाहर नहीं जाना है, कॉम्प्लेक्शन डार्क हो जाएगा, विटामिन डी नहीं मिल रहा है, करेक्ट. तो विटामिन डी is helping absorb calcium in your body, और विटामिन डी नहीं रहता है तो कैल्शियम कैसे अब्सॉर्ब होगा, करेक्ट. So moving to the next neglected nutrient, which is again not a nutrient but it's a vitamin, and that is vitamin D. So when it comes to protecting your bone health, we often hear about the importance of calcium and weight-bearing exercises, right? But there's another piece of this nutrient pie that's just as crucial as these two factors, but often overlooked. This nutrient bucks the trend of other vitamins in that we can actually make vitamin D ourselves. So there's one thing that I want you all to know कि हमारी body में वो एक capability है, हमारी body में एक auto generated system है where हम लोग विटामिन डी खुद ब खुद अब्सॉर्ब कर सकते हैं. और वो कैसे? बाय एक्सपोजिंग आवर स्किन टू डायरेक्ट सनलाइट, राइट. सो दिस इज द रीजन व्हाई वी पीपल से दैट इंडिया में इतना नेचुरल सोर्स है सनलाइट का. लाइक इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द ब्लेस्ड कंट्रीज टू हैव नेचुरल सोर्स ऑफ सनलाइट ऑलमोस्ट इन एवरी सीजन, but still India is one of the leading countries with vitamin D deficiency, right? So डेफिनेटली विटामिन डी या सनराइज का रेज जो है वो अपने विंटर सीजन में थोड़ा कम रहेगा एज कंपेयर टू दैट ऑफ इन समर्स एंड इन अदर सीजन्स, बट स्टिल वी आर गेटिंग दिस the natural source, right? So vitamin D has an essential role in bone health, and that's largely because it increases the calcium absorption from the intestines. So like I said, calcium deficiency vitamin D deficiency की वजह से होती है. और अगर आपको विटामिन डी सही अमाउंट में मिल रही है, then there is no way that you will be calcium deficient also. विटामिन डी हमारे डाइट में से हमको सिर्फ 5 to 10% के दौर पे मिल सकता है. We only get 5 to 10% of vitamin D from the food. Remaining 90% of the vitamin D is obtained from direct exposure to the sunlight, and which we as Indians fail to get it. Especially women, because we are not stepping out of a house for multiple reasons. If you're a homemaker, then I think that's one major reason that you people are not going out of the house, क्योंकि आप घर के कामों में इतना लगते हो कि by the time you have time for yourself, धूप ढल जाती है, right? Daily goal. Now, how much would be the requirement of vitamin D for an adult? Okay, so daily allowance for adults for between 19 years or above is 600 IU, which is 15 mcg, okay, daily for women and men. And that of adults, like for 70 years and older, the vitamin D requirement will be slightly higher than an adult, which would be 20 mcg per day. Okay, so why 20 mcg for 70 years and plus and 15 mcg for 19 years and above? Because like I said, as you're aging, your bone deterioration is happening, right? Bone की count हमारी body में कम होती है. Calcium deficiency होना is very easy. That is the reason we require vitamin D for people, above 70 years, slightly higher. All right. And how to reach the source of vitamin D? Somebody put them. Please put yourselves on mute. So vitamin D sources from food, like if you talk about food sources, then it's salmon, tuna, mackerel, and herring. These are fishes and smaller amounts present in beef liver, like the beef liver, cheese and egg yolk. So of course अगर आप देखो ये सारे sources non-vegetarian sources है, okay? And अगर vegetarian की बात करें तो vitamin D vegetarian sources में बहुत ही rare है, बहुत ही neglected या it's ना होने के बराबर. मिलता है विटामिन डी वेजिटेरियन सोर्सेज में, वो है एवोकाडो. बट अगेन एवोकाडो इन इंडिया इज नॉट सो कॉमन. जहां मिलता है इट्स वेरी प्राइसी, so people do not really opt for that option. So again, what comes as the major source of vitamin D, like I said, is sunlight. Okay, with so many sources of vitamin D coming from animal products, this means that vegans are particularly at a higher risk of deficiency of this particular vitamin, because vegans will not have non-veg sources. So they are only left with one option, which is sunlight. Let's talk about who are at more risk of vitamin D deficiency. So people with naturally dark skin, the pigment melanin reduces the skin ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight. Okay, so जिनका complexion थोड़ा dark रहता है, the reason why they are dark is because उनकी skin में जो pigment melanin है वो थोड़ा ज्यादा रहता है, और melanin के कारण vitamin D हमारे skin में absorb होने में time लगता है. So it's a little difficult for these people to absorb sunlight directly. That is the reason अगर आप उनको थोड़े fair complexion वाले लोगों के साथ उनका vitamin D compare करोगे, so comparatively you will find that the darker people or the dusky people have lower vitamin D levels. People who are unable to be outdoors during daylight, like because of age or health issues, these are the ones who will have a lower level of vitamin D significantly. Also, people who work night shift or who wear protective clothing for working all day when outdoors, people who cover their bodies for religious, cultural, or other reasons, and people who are 70 to 80 years of age. Aging reduces vitamin D and the production of the vitamin D in the skin. Let's have one poll here for people to discuss कि अगर उनका vitamin D उन्होंने check किया है कि नहीं. Please answer. Okay, so here what we see is 50% people have said that they are having low vitamin D levels. 21%, that's like just 3 people have said that their vitamin D levels are not low. And 29% of people have not even checked their vitamin D levels. So within the people here, like 17 people or 14 people, whoever are here in this session right now, aap khud hi dekh lo, maximum people are saying that their vitamin D levels are low, which means that आपके पास sunlight बाहर है, आपके पास open source है vitamin D लेने का, but फिर भी आप उसका advantage नहीं ले रहे हैं, and then you struggle with so many other health issues. Let me add one more point to this. Vitamin D deficiency के कारण भी weight gain होता है. Okay, there is a whole science behind it, but just to give you a hint or just to tell you that if you are trying to figure out कि आप अगर हर चीज अच्छे से कर रहे हो, डाइट ले रहे हो, कुछ बाहर का नहीं ले रहे हो, फिर भी आपका वेट क्यों हाई है, तो फिर this could be one reason. So please check your vitamin D levels if those who have not, and for people who know that their vitamin D levels are low, please expose your skin to the sunlight. Okay, we can close this poll here and move to the next neglected vitamin or the next neglected nutrient, which is...
Ma'am?
Yes?
I have a question, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. What about K2? कि मैंने सुना है कि बहुत मेजर रोल प्ले करता है विटामिन डी के ऑब्जर्वेशन में, तो आप क्या कहेंगे मैम?
What does, sorry, I didn't hear you.
हाँ मैम, actually what about K2?
K2.
Yes ma'am.
Okay.
It's a major role play in absorption of vitamin D.
Yes.
Is it true, ma'am?
Yes, yeah, it does. Because vitamin one thing is vitamin जो D है, and again K2. K2, I think you're talking about the one which is helped or plays a major role for blood clotting, correct? Yeah. So again, vitamin D absorb करने के लिए, because vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. Okay. तो फैट सॉल्युबल विटामिन्स का हेल्प रोल मेजरली ये भी रहता है कि हमारा जो ब्लड है, ओके, whatever food we are eating, we, like I said initially, that food needs to be broken down into fat and then into fatty acids. So अगर वो प्रोसेस अच्छे से होता है, then there is very less chances that the fat deposition हमारी बॉडी में कम रहे और ब्लड क्लॉटिंग भी कम रहे. Like again, so vitamin D and vitamin K2 have to be taken hand in hand so that blood clotting na ho. Okay. And again, vitamin D gets absorbed better if you're eating foods which are rich in vitamin K2. Okay. So moving forward to, I hope we can move forward to the next point. All right. Just give me a minute. Okay. So this is the fifth neglected nutrient, which is iodine. Iodine is a micro mineral which is extremely variable in food due to the regionally variable soil concentration of the element. Okay. I think before we discuss iodine in detail, let's run our third poll here. That will help us to, understand the whole concept better. Are you someone having hypothyroidism?
Ma'am, actually, after joining Flexify, maybe it was gone.
Okay, so we have somebody who is free from thyroid now. So 23% people say yes and 70% people say no. So we have a few people in our session who are having thyroidism, and I think this topic will really help you understand the concept better. Okay, so the presence of iodine in a particular food depends upon the nature of plant fertilizer used in the plant cultivation. Okay. So basically, iodine is what? It's a micro mineral. ठीक है? Iodine हमारे diet में बहुत एक तरह से आता है where you have to be very particular कि हमारे diet में at least इतना iodine तो आना चाहिए. Okay, and the reason why people are having thyroidism is because of iodine deficiency. And again, after diabetes, thyroid in India is one of the major leading metabolic disorder. Every family will have at least one thyroid patient, or maybe unke parents rahe honge. Okay. And how do we get iodine is basically iodine depend करता है कि आपने जो खाना खाया है, particularly if you're eating plant based foods, then again we need to see that वो plant जिस तरह की soil में grow हुआ है, वो soil में किस तरह का plant fertilizer गया हो, उसका cultivation कैसा हुआ हो, because iodine is particularly found in soil. Okay. So the iodine content of grains, vegetables and fruits varies with the iodide content of the soil, and that of the meat depends on the iodide content of the soil and plants that the animals eat. Okay. So daily requirement of an iodine in adults and adolescents, मतलब आज के time पे India में daily iodine content recommendation is 150 mcg per day. Okay. And how do we find iodine in our food? Through seafood, milk, eggs, yogurt, and very, very poor sources of iodine would be beans, grains, and cereals. So if you are a vegetarian or if you are a vegan and you are trying to meet your iodine requirement through cereals, grains, and beans, then there is a very high chance कि आपको शायद thyroid हो, या फिर your iodine levels are low and you might require a supplementary source of iodine. Okay. Moving to the next slide. Iodine deficiency, like I said, is the main cause of goiter. Harvinder ji, let's discuss your query towards the end of the session. So iodine deficiency is the cause of goiter. It causes the depletion of thyroid iodine stores and therefore reduced output of T4 and T3. Okay. So इसीलिए hypothyroidism, like I said, is the leading metabolic disorder in every second family. And it's not necessary that thyroid आपको खुद से, I mean, there is a high chance that अगर आपकी mother thyroid है उनको, then the child, like the daughter, will have a higher possibility of hypothyroidism because it is proven or it's shown to be a metabolic disorder. It can be, transferred genetically as well. So it's very important, again, that we have thyroid in our diet on a regular basis. We have iodine in our diet on a regular basis through seafood, through nuts, through seeds, eggs, yogurt. ये सब चीजें हमारे diet में quite frequently आने चाहिए because it's very important that we prevent hypothyroidism. Right, there are a lot of problems that you can get because of iodine deficiency. जैसे कि, like I said, hypothyroidism है, goiter है. Then there is mental issues also. Like if extreme cases में, again, iodine deficiency can cause some sort of a brain damage, which can in turn, like if it's so severe, it cannot be reversed also. So, but again, it's very, very rare that you will find people having such issues because of iodine deficiency. Yet again, like I said, if it's people who are vegan since their childhood, since their birth, या फिर उन लोगों को allergy है, they are not able to, tolerate lactose, they are not able to tolerate dairy-based foods, then there is a high chance that they will have these issues as well. They also have vision impairment. So, baki sub levels normal rahenge, but if you are somebody who is having iodine deficiency, you are having thyroidism, then there is a high possibility that you will have blurred vision, or with age, your levels will, your vision will just get a little bad. Okay. So, talking about the last nutrient which is quite neglected in today's time would be this one, biotin. So again, biotin is a water soluble vitamin which is also commonly called as vitamin B7, and biotin is necessary for the growth and survival of the gut microbiome. Okay, so what is the link of biotin with gut microbiota? Biotin is an important vitamin for digestion. So hence it's very important for a very healthy gut. जो भी है, हम जो भी खाना खाते हैं, definitely it is going in our body by the end of the day and it is reaching our intestines. And every health issue is somewhere or the other linked with your gut, with your intestines, right? Because where does the digestion happen? It happens in your intestines. So if anything is not getting digested properly, it's not getting absorbed properly by your body, then there is a very high chance that you will have leading problems like gut inflammation, you'll have overweight, you'll be overweight, you'll develop acne, you'll develop dark patches. So everything is somewhere or the other connected to your gut microbiome. Okay. So the negligence of biotin has shown to have an effect on causing gut inflammation, poor fetal growth in pregnant women. So if you have people who are, like pregnant in your family, so आप notice करेंगे that the lady is generally suggested biotin, folic acid. These are the first supplements जो doctors उनको suggest करते हैं. That's because we need the fetal to have enough biotin through the mother's diet. Okay, an adequate intake of biotin in adults is 30 micrograms per day. Okay, And how do we reach it? We reach it through good food sources like in liver, soya beans, egg yolk, legumes, and nuts. These are major good sources of biotin, which is very easily available in our daily diet. But yet again, people have shown to have the deficiency of biotin in today's time because again, lack of knowledge, lack of dietary assessment, do not know how to meet their goals and do not know how to meet their requirements. Okay, and again, what are the problems that you really face with biotin deficiency? So people facing problems like lethargy, depression, hallucinations, muscle pain, nausea, anorexia, alopecia. Alopecia is not just hair loss, it means hair loss in patches. यहाँ बाल है, यहाँ नहीं है, यहाँ नहीं है. That if somebody in your family or in your surrounding is facing, there is high chance that they are having alopecia, and one of the reason alopecia is there because you have biotin deficiency. Red dermatitis, so red patches and rashes on your skin. So these are the possible things that can be caused if you are having biotin deficiency. If you have noticed people like in your family who are old, Ayurvedic tips follow karna, ya old people, like especially your grandmothers, great grandmothers, you might have noticed that they have this habit of ingesting raw eggs. Okay, they just take a raw egg, they mix it with milk and they finish it off. वैसे खा लेते, वैसे पी लेते, right? So this practice is generally causing a result in decreased plasma biotin. Biotin in your blood is reduced because of this practice. And why this happens? Because there is a product, there is a compound called avidin in the raw egg whites, which has found to bind biotin, and it prevents its absorption and use by the body. So please, if anybody in your family or your friends or relatives is practicing this habit of eating raw eggs, you can suggest them not to do it because it's not having any benefits. It's simply not going to help in any manner. Okay. So this was about the whole, concept of why biotin is important. And these were some of the most commonly neglected nutrients in our diet. Okay. So I think I can just start with the quick Q&A session. So anybody who has a few questions regarding it, you all can let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you please tell me some supplementary iodine sources, ma'am?
Supplements you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ideally, like why would you require supplements would be my first question.
Madam, because iodine मिलता कहाँ है, madam, इतना जितना per day necessary है.
It is
actually, ma'am, I am a thyroid patient. That's why I'm concerned about iodine.
Okay. So and how much thyroid tablet? What is the power that you
मैम
consume?
मैं ले ही नहीं रही हूँ, बस मैंने टेस्ट कराया था तो डायग्नोज हुई थी, T3 लेवल मेरा लो है, तो मैं कोई मेडिसिन नहीं ले रही हूँ और कोई मैं ऐसे वो भी नहीं कर रही हूँ कि मैं कोई और होम रेमेडीज कर रही हूँ.
ओके सो सबसे पहले फॉर पीपल जिनको थायराइड रहता है, उन्होंने डिटेक्ट किया है कि उनको थायराइड है, देन इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि पहले वो एक डॉक्टर के कंसेंट से मेडिसिन लेना स्टार्ट करे. नॉट नेसेसरी कि थायराइड आप सिर्फ मतलब आपको थायराइड की मेडिसिन लाइफ लॉन्ग लेना है, ऐसा कहीं नहीं है. थायराइड इज रिवर्सिबल. समबडी जस्ट मेंशन दैट थायराइड रिवर्स हुआ है उनका हमारे सेशन के साथ. तो थायराइड के टैबलेट्स अगर आप 2 महीना 3 महीना रेगुलरली लेते हो, इवन इफ इट्स लाइक अ डोसेज एज लो एज 12.5 mcg और 25 mcg, वो लेना इंपॉर्टेंट है ताकि आपके बॉडी में आयोडीन के स्टोर्स रहे. एंड देन विद ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम आप आपके लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस करते रहो, लाइक यू इंक्लूड नट्स, लेग्यूम्स इन योर डाइट एंड कंटिन्यू रखो उस हैबिट को ताकि वापस से थायराइड के लेवल्स लो ना हो जाए. सो देयर इज नो सच थिंग दैट यू हैव टू टेक सप्लीमेंट्स डायरेक्टली. आप लेना स्टार्ट कर लो आयोडीन का टैबलेट विद द हेल्प ऑफ योर डॉक्टर एंड देन यू कैन कंट्रोल इट.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू सो मच मैम.
मैम मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, आयोडीन नमक में नहीं होता क्या?
आयोडीन नमक में है, yes. Tata Salt has started with iodized salt because the government of India definitely found out that Indian diet में iodine बहुत deficient है, so they have fortified Tata salt with
Tata salt.
iodine.
Okay, fine.
So that is the reason people are now consuming iodine through salt also. One more point I would like to mention is if you are a thyroid patient and you are consuming rock salt, pink salt, then you are not having the iodine there. So for people who are having thyroid and they are having rock salt, should stop that habit.
मतलब उसमें आयोडीन नहीं है, नॉर्मली हमारे घर में वही यूज होता है, नॉर्मल व्हाइट नमक नहीं यूज होता, हम डेली बेसिस पे वही यूज करते हैं.
So you should start with Tata salt, which is having iodine. But if in case you are having non-veg food sources like fish, which is having iodine, then you can use rock salt.
नहीं, पर वो भी नहीं है.
और मैम जिनके घर में कोई ऐसा थायराइड पेशेंट नहीं है और वो रॉक सॉल्ट ले रहे हैं तो
See, it's fine if you are taking rock salt, but again, as a very healthy habit, अगर आप पूछे किसी डाइटिशियन से, so उनकी recommendation यही रहती है कि आप iodized salt आपकी कुकिंग के लिए यूज करो और rock salt आप सैलेड ड्रेसिंग्स, स्मूदीज, ये सब चीजें अगर प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो तो उसके लिए यूज करो.
पर ऐसे किसी को हाई बीपी और वो नॉर्मल नमक यूज करे तो चलता है?
हाई बीपी अगर है तो सबसे पहले तो पूरा लाइफस्टाइल ही आपको चेंज करना है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट कि आपने सॉल्ट को ही ट्रिगर करना है. सॉल्ट तो ले सकते हो, बाकी की चीजें कंट्रोल करनी है. डीप फ्राइड स्टफ, स्पाइसी फूड, सॉल्टी स्नैक्स, ये सब चीजें कंट्रोल करिए ना, सॉल्ट को. अच्छा,
और एक क्वेश्चन मेरा और था, आपने 2-3 जगह पे बताया कि सोया काफी अच्छा सोर्स है, पर वो मैंने सुना है कि सोया से फर्टिलिटी भी काफी कम हो जाती है.
नहीं, it's the opposite of what you're saying. Soya is having estrogen in them, and ladies
Yes.
के लिए estrogen hormones is more important for fertility. So it's very good for people having PCOS, PCOD problem, or people having infertility for females. On the contrary, yes, for males, soya should be avoided because they do not require estrogen hormones. They require progesterone and progesterone hormones. So it's the either way, yeah.
थैंक यू, ये तो बहुत बड़ा है.
So, ma'am, thyroid patient and PCOS patient can take soya.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Ma'am, so PCOD patient या PCOS or thyroid patient can take soya
Yes, they
or
can.
soya products.
PCOS patients can take soya, but again, it has to be in controlled quantity
Okay.
because उनके hormones वैसे ही काफी imbalance हो जाते हैं. But again, thyroid patients के लिए थोड़ा सा हमें watchful रहना है because estrogen hormones ज्यादा अगर हो गए तो then it inhibits the absorption of iodine.
Okay, ma'am. तो ये मैम इनहिबिटर होता है, कॉज करता है सोया आयोडीन में.
I didn't get your question.
मैम एक्चुअली मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि सोया इनहिबिटर है उसमें आयोडीन के ऑब्जर्प्शन में.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
If it's taken regularly and in a very high quantity, then definitely yes.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay. Now I get it, madam.
I have a question.
Yes.
Basically, I wanted to know, like, you are saying vitamin D deficiency. I'm vitamin D deficiency I'm having because I work for long hours in office. I don't get chance to be in the sun. Now, is there any particular timings which I need to be under the sun, which will help me to absorb maximum vitamin D, or is that any time in the day? Like when it is very, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's difficult to go out in the sun. So what are the usual timings when I can absorb the maximum vitamin D?
Yeah, it's a very good question and most controversial one, I would say, in today's time, because a lot of people are giving answers in different times.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So some people say that between the timings of 11 to 12 is a good time to absorb sunlight because the UV rays hai, it's like the most safe UV rays coming from the sunlight. While some on the contrary say that afternoon sunlight is more powerful. But I think what I would suggest is the timing between 11 to 1 would be the safest time to stand for 15 minutes, expose 60% of your body and your skin to the sun, and that's it, you get your vitamin D there.
But I'll tell you, frankly speaking, I'm staying in Kolkata. It's very sunny to go out during the time which you just now specified.
Right.
It's especially in the summers, it's very difficult. Winters, it's fine, but it's impossible to stand out in the sun
So
during
it's
that.
fine. Even like if you're going at between 9 to 11, you will get vitamin D. It's just that vitamin D to आपको same मिल जाएगा. But the thing is, UV rays are very harmful with the growing time. Like अगर आप peak afternoon की बात करते हो, then definitely the UV rays are going to be very, very harmful.
But evening में ऐसा कोई time है like 4:35? No. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, ma'am. I
Yes.
had a question. Yeah, hi. As you said that the consumption of chicken eggs would help us to gain the protein on everyday basis.
Yeah.
So my query was as we cook it, like someday we cook it like really oily and spicy one, and some days we cook it in a form of stews and everything. And so like my question was like, in which form would help us to gain protein? Because the cooking process is not same every day, so like we keep on changing it based on our mood and our taste buds and everything. So my question was that.
So the best way to get good protein in your diet through chicken would be to cooking it on a low flame. Okay, low to medium flame and slow cooking is the best way to get the highest amount of protein from your chicken. Deep fried, again, I don't really think I would suggest it. You can have it maybe once in 10 days, but the most common ways to have chicken would be either in the boiled form or you can have it in the grilled form.
Grilled form.
Great. Okay. And the spices, like they don't make like any changes, right? Really?
No, the spices will not make any change.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do we have any other questions?
क्वेश्चन नहीं है मैम, पर जैसे अपन को प्रोटीन और इन सब का कैलकुलेट करना है, तो अब जैसे मैं दिन में 2 बार दूध पीऊं या 1 बार, तो ये कैसे मैं कैलकुलेट करूंगी कितना अमाउंट एक डाइट से मेरे पास आ रहा है?
See, it's आपको actually as such कुछ भी calculate करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You have to be just very manipulative with what you're drinking, what you're eating. Okay, so like I said, every meal should have protein. So just for an example, एक instance बताती हूँ. जैसे आपने morning में 1 glass milk ले लिया, breakfast में आपने कुछ protein based ले लिया. जैसे अगर आपको vegetarian sources लेने हैं, then you have sprouts, you have chilas, you have moong dal chilas. On the contrary, if you're having a lunch, then lunch में आप कोई भी एक source of protein ले लो, whether it is dal, chicken, fish, egg, meat, paneer, one source of protein there, and then again for dinner same एक source of protein रखना है. If you are having protein in every meal, definitely without calculating you will meet the requirement.
तो ये विटामिन डी जो अपन सनराइज के टाइम अगर अपन जाके सनराइज, तो वो यूजफुल नहीं है?
Sunrise के time पे vitamin D will not give you that much of benefit as much as after 2 to 3 hours of sunrise will give you.
ठीक है, मैं सुबह मैं उसी में खुश हो रही थी कि मैं सनराइज देख रही हूँ. ठीक है मैम.
मैम मैंने कहीं सुना था, जैसे वाटर इनटेक की आपने बात की कि वाटर इनटेक जो है वो शाम को 4 से 5 बजे से पहले पहले मैक्सिमम ले लेना चाहिए, उसके बाद अगर रिक्वायरमेंट है तो ले. तो क्या हमें ऐसा ही करना चाहिए?
See, again, it's bio individual. Water intake actually depend करता है on what type of food also you're eating. Plus, it depends on the climatic conditions also. But again, अगर आप शाम के टाइम पे after 5-6 o'clock भी water ले रहे हो, make sure that you are just drinking 20% of the total water during the day, during the second half, because there is no scientific reason to it. It is just said that obviously आपने ये सुना होगा कि पानी meals के पहले पहले लेना चाहिए और meals के बाद नहीं लेना चाहिए. Yet again, the other reason would be that because you're going off to bed post your dinner and everything, you don't really want to disturb your sleep by making frequent visits to the washroom. So that is like the reason people say that you finish off with your water intake in the first.
और मैं जैसे मैं रात का मील लेने के बाद अगर मैंने प्रॉपर पानी नहीं पिया तो वो कैसे डाइजेस्ट होगा? प्रॉपर पानी
You don't need water to digest the food.
Yes.
You need water to for better absorption of nutrients. You don't need to
Yes.
digest your food. The best way to drink water with the meals or before the meals, not after the meals. So you can take a sip or two. जब आप खाना खा रहे हो उसके साथ 1-2 घूंट पानी पी सकते हो. Majorly खाना खाने के 5-10 मिनट पहले आप 1 गिलास पानी पी सकते हो, ताकि जो भी आप खाना खा रहे हो उसके न्यूट्रिएंट्स आपके ब्लड में इजीली फ्लो हो सके. You don't have to drink water after your meals.
और मैम मैंने ये चीज भी सुनी थी कि आप जैसे जो प्रिस्क्राइब लिमिट होती है कि 2.5 to 3 liters ऑफ वाटर, अगर कोई ज्यादा ले रहा हो इससे तो
That is also not good.
वो मतलब हार्म करेगा वो हमारे
Kidney.
It will not help in the good flow of nutrients. It will just flow away with your urine. So you need water to help you in a manner that आपके nutrients जो है वो blood में easily flow हो सके. You do not want the water to be flushed off with urine unnecessarily.
Flushed off with urine.
और मैम जैसे एक साथ 2-3 ग्लास पानी भी पी लेते हैं ना, कि अभी जैसे खाना खाया और आपने 1 घंटे का गैप लिया, उसके बाद आप जब पानी पीते हो तो आप 2-3 ग्लास, क्योंकि आपको बहुत ज्यादा प्यास लगी होती है, तो आप उस टाइम थोड़ा इंटेक ज्यादा एक साथ कर लेते हो, तो वो सही रहता है या थोड़ा गैप ले लेके पीना?
It's always advisable कि आप gap ले लेके करो, because too much of water together at one time might cause some sort of regurgitation. आपके stomach में बहुत ज्यादा heaviness लगेगा, and then if you're eating something, there is a possibility कि it will just reflux up again. So थोड़ा थोड़ा करके is a wise way of consuming water.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do we have any other questions? Thank you so much, Madhumita ji.
Thank you, ma'am. Today's session is very good, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Very knowledgeable.
Most welcome. I hope that
Thank you, ma'am.
आप लोग ये सब चीजें जो मैंने बताए हैं, you all practice it in your daily routine. Become healthier people, like with life.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day, ma'am.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you, ma'am.
All right then. We can close the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your session is really very nice.
Most welcome, Rashmi ji. Most welcome. Bye bye.
See you in the next weekend. Okay, bye, ma'am.
Bye.